Hello everybody, Reggie Time here with I think the 11th video in the Building a Bankroll series. It's been a few days since we've made a video. I've been doing some other stuff. I played Friday night, didn't record, tried to record because we had a study group session with lots of people in, and it was a fun session. But unfortunately, well, I did actually record it, but then sadly there was just too much background noise. I kind of knew that as we were recording. There was people talking in the background, like background TV noise, people moving chairs. It was just really noisy, and I certainly wouldn't have wanted to listen to it and watch it back, so I didn't produce it, which is a shame, but because it would have been nice to demonstrate how a group session works as part of my study group, but we're not just going to put out really irritating content. King Queen suited here, 2 overs, back down a flush draw, but too much traffic to receive it. I just put a c-bet in a heads up pot, pretty much close to 100%, but not in a heavy multi-way pot, especially since his D-Genesis earlier. He 3-bet with ace king. I called flop top set of tens, betting in mind with 200 blinds deep. I flop top set of tens, so obviously he had no pair, no draw, well, apart from backdoor straight draw. I bet the turn, he called, completely unimproved, and then I shoved the river. So I got my stack. I shoved the river, and he just called with ace king. Pretty much just put 200 big blinds in with ace king high. So we won't be trying to bluff D-Genesis anytime soon. So the recording didn't go great Friday, but Friday was just pretty much a fucking disaster day anyway. I had the day off work, so I decided to play an afternoon session for the first time since starting this challenge on Sky, like 2 weeks almost. First afternoon session, and the games were pretty crummy, and I lost whatever. I think £7, £12, something like that. Not the end of the world, I could buy in and a half, depending on which stake you were considering it was at. I then played an early evening session and lost another £7. Again, no big deal. Who cares? And then like the group session at night time, it started off okay, but there was like tons and tons of good games, and I made the fatal mistake of, I think at one point, 8 tabling, and it did not end well. I was just like playing some pretty moderate autopilot poker, and we'll get back to that in a moment because we've just turned the nuts, and I guess I'm just going to lead because I don't want him checking back all these flush draws and what have you. We've turned a pair now against Dan, and I don't think we get any fold equity with the 4, so we'll just check jammed on by Spurs United, which is a shame. Could have probably beat, but I have to call, and we're not beat. That's why I have to call. Two pairs, I guess. We hit the call button. So yeah, I was playing 8 tables, and to be fair, they were like 6 of them were really good. 2 were like kind of okay. And it was a horror session. I never really made a hand. I got my premium pairs cracked on several occasions and just made some generally crappy, sloppy calls. And by the end of it all, it was a bit of a bloodbath, and I'd done in just short of 50 quid. I think it was £47, which is like, in terms of like money to me, it's like whatever, it's not particularly relevant to me. I'm not going to lose much sleep over it, but in terms of this bankroll challenge, it's quite a hit. It was like 25% of my net profit so far on Sky. So yeah, that cheesed me off a little bit, to be honest. Not massively. I wasn't not going to super cry over it. I'm going to keep calling D-Genesis, so he's betting small, because he's done this once before. He just like barreled off small 3 streets with ace high, so Lies keeping it small. We're just going to call. Now we've basically got the nuts we're going to shove. Any bets, I think, are we? No, showing's too big, isn't it? Showing's just too big. And he calls. Who knows what with? I'm going to presume not a king. What did you have there, Mr. Degenesis, man? Pocket sevens. Yeah, the guy just doesn't call. He's a doesn't fall. Sorry, he's a lover of the hero call. That's for sure. He loves a lover of the min 3 bets too. Certainly fun to have around. I'm going to just call here. Hope he squeezes because he likes to squeeze. And then look to just back raise. Didn't work out. Never mind. I wanted him in the pot. Don't want him folding. I don't particularly in JFM poker folding. I don't really want to play Ace King multi-way either, but at the same time, I think with 3-bet there, we kind of just freeze everyone out behind us and isolate ourselves against the top of SR23's range. So I don't mind just calling there. It is only Ace King when all said and done. You don't really get value pre-flop. You don't get value till you shut your hand down, do you? So I'm not overly asked about Ace King as a hand. So yeah, Friday's session anyway was a fucking disaster. I think all told, by the end of the day, I think I'd lost about 66 quid. 67, maybe 66, not sure. Anyway, it was a fuck up. It was a complete clusterfuck. And it annoyed me, but whatever. We had a day off Saturday because I went to play live at the casino, which, as usual, was a lot of fun, but again, I ran fucking awful at the casino. I didn't really catch a hand in the tournament, and then I just went and sat at a 25p cash table with a ridiculous fucking, I think uncapped, but nevertheless 10% fucking rake. And I just sat in the game thinking it's unbeatable, but whatever, just waiting for my mate to bust so I can go home. We're going to leave this top left table now. And then it turned into being like a phenomenal game. There was 3 or 4 guys that were just gambling like crazy with each other. And there's one guy in particular, he was just grabbing chunks of chips. Every time it was on, the action was on him. And he was like making it, whatever, £5, £6, £7, £8, £10 pre-flop. It was absurd. It wasn't really poker. It was like bingo. So naturally I just sat, waited. I'm going to call Kaiser Soze. 10 is too strong to fold here. I'm running good with the sets tonight. I'm going to take a risk on like a jack or a queen coming off there, or a king. I'm really not worried about the ace. I'm just hoping he's now got there with his ace king. And now I'm just going to shove. I'll finish my bad beat story in just a moment. And he folds. This session has been really good, by the way. Cannot complain at this session whatsoever. Try and find another table in just a moment. I'm going to finish my casino story first. So yeah, we just started sitting there waiting for the hand. I think I folded something like 20 hands in a row, maybe more. Maybe folded for more than 2 orbits. Because I just wasn't getting hands, and there was no point even trying to play a pot, because you just, unless you're prepared to like put at least £6 in at 25, which is whatever the fucking hell that is. It's 24 big blinds pre, is it? Maybe more. Fuck knows, can't be asked to work out. But unless you're prepared to like put mega bucks in pre-flop, you weren't getting to see flops. So I fucked it off. I just waited and waited and waited, and I think I woke up in one of the blinds or something with ace jack suited. He did his usual, maybe 8 quid or something. I shoved for 40 something like that, I think it was. And he snapped me off, obviously, with Queen 6. I didn't know he had Queen 6 at the time, and the flop came down like 2, 3, 4. And you know what's coming. The flop came down 2, 3, 4. He was a friendly guy, and I liked him. Genuine, not just because he was a fish, I liked him because he was a friendly guy and he was making it fun. And he looked at his cards and said, "Oh, I've got a 6." Or something like that. I can't remember how it went down. Anyway, the turn bricked, which was fun. Let me just think about this king now. I think I'm going to bet for value from like pocket 8s, pocket 7s, that type of thing. I missed a bet on table 2 because I'm too busy telling me a bad beat story. Bet the turn into Jeffers. Going to value bet this river on table 3, but not really big because quite a lot got there on the turn, and we're obviously bet folding. Just kind of blocking it, really. So yeah, he said I get a 6 or whatever. I think the flop was 4-3 deuce. And wow, I'm not going to get this story out in the end, aren't I? We're getting 5-1 on the call here. I mean, I think we lose a lot of the time, but we're getting 5-1. We just can't fold, and that's why. So yeah. Anyway, cut a long story short, because it has been a fucking long story now. I apologise for how rambly it's been. He just rivered the straight, which caused great hilarity around the table, except in my little corner, because I'd quite enjoyed taking down whatever it was. I think he was all in for 32 or something. I can't remember, but yeah. Hilarity ensued apart from with me, but I took it in good spirits because you have to. A few other people were like, because he was like sucking out, and some people donated it back to others. And some people at the table were getting pissed off with him, and they lost to him. They were criticising him, and they were mumbling to themselves, and whatever. The guy's there's having fun. He's gambling, and he's giving everyone a good chance to win some reasonable, not big money from him, but by the end of the session, I think he said he was down £250. So he donated £250 to the table. Now, fuck knows how much Bolton Casino took of that in rake, but I imagine it would have been a fucking lot. But nevertheless, the guy, people were needling him and sticking it to him and being horrible about him. And he just dumped £250. So I don't know. Some people just don't get it, do they? They just don't get it. I mean, at the end, I went and left. When we left, I mean, I guess it's just because my friendly guys went over and shook his hand and just thanked him for making it fun. Yeah, I'd lost money at the table, but, whatever. I lost about 25 quid at the end of the session, something like that. But he made it fun, and that's surely what poker's all about, especially live poker. In the tournament, I had some fucking guy sat next to me. But as soon as we sat down, he put fucking like Ray-Ban shades on, like Tom Cruise wore in fucking Top Gun. Put his fucking headphones in, he had a card protector, had a little fucking mask on. I don't know if it was Blockbusters or fucking poker, but yeah, and he didn't say a fucking word for that 2 hours till he busted out. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, mate? And his live poker, it's a 30 quid fucking deep and steep fucking freeze out. This is the second time Jack L's put the squeeze on me, possibly the third. I have folded jacks to him once already this session. I'm not going to be folding my 2 queens. And if Jack L's got kings or aces, then he's going to win all of my money. I mean, I could be getting trapped here by Jack L, but whatever. To be frank, I don't really give a fuck. I've got an overpair in a 3-bet pot, and there's not much I'm going to be able to do about it. And he just check folds a turn, so in the meantime, I was doing my usual thing of autopiloting against Jeffers with a mediocre hand. I think I'm going to turn my hand into a bluff here and just bank on him not having a club. So yeah, this guy in the tournament, like, we're surely playing live £30 fucking buying tournaments. You don't turn up with your fucking iPod, your sunglasses, your fucking card marker, and just make it complete on your social. If you are one of those guys, just have a fucking word with yourself, would you? Because I mean, I get it. You go and play the World Series. It's a long fucking day, or you go and play a big buying event with like a really cool structure, and you want to take it seriously. You want to get in the zone and really focus. By all means, then go into your little fucking cocoon. But 30 quid deep and steep fucking freeze out in Bolton with like 900 quid up top. Just fucking give your head a wobble, kid. Absolute fucking boring bastard that he was. But whatever, he busted out, so it was all good. I busted out too. Nothing too exciting. Double my chips after about level 3, level 4, something like that. Then just bled away and lost. And that's kind of how a tournament went. But we had a good time. We did genuinely have fun. And that's what it's all about. We nearly bumped into a fight on the way out as well. And not one for fighting, really. It's not really my bag. There's some guys arguing in the car park. My friend, he works in security, he's ex-army, he's an ex-bouncer and this, that and the other. And he decided to go over and try and calm the situation. I was like, right, Dave, remind me why we're getting involved in this. It's none of our fucking business. And we nearly got involved in a punch-up, which wouldn't have been my cup of tea, because my record in punch-ups lifetime isn't really one to be proud of. But we didn't, and we got home safe and sound. And it was good. It was good fun. It was a good night. I think I'd spent about, my net spend was maybe 80 quid. So for a good night out, you can't whack that, really, can you? You know, it's a decent night out for 80 quid, with the potential, of course, of sometimes not spending the 80 quid and even making money. So yeah, we like our casino trips. This one didn't work out. Who cares? I'm going to get some more tables in a moment, aren't I? Because, in fact, we're going to pause the video and get some new ones, because both table 1 and 3 are going to be going. So I'll pause the video and I'll come back when I've got some more tables, some better tables. So we're back now with 5 tables. We're on a waiting list for a 6th, and I sat out for a good 45 minutes. I guess we're just going to shove our 2 overs of flush draw here against and bluffing. There was just no games. There was like a swarm of regulars around, and they were kind of blocking all the seats, and the games just looked shit. So I went away, I made a drink, I had something to eat, I just dicked around on Facebook, YouTube, whatever, and then it's taken me about 50 minutes off and coming back, and we just found these great tables, 5 great tables. Literally, I was on them all within a minute. And I think I'm still running good with top sets. I think that's a good lesson for anyone watching, that, you know, if games are shit, just don't play them. Just because I've started a session now, and whatever I was in, 20 minutes into it, half an hour into it, whatever it was, and all of a sudden the games go shit, and you're like, well, no, I need to continue my session. No, you don't. If all of a sudden your session isn't worth continuing with, then don't continue with it. You know, this poker's not going anywhere. You don't need to just grind shit games against like moderate regulars just because you're like, well, I've started now, so I'll finish. This isn't Mastermind. You know, you can start and finish whenever the fuck you want, and nobody can stop you. River a full house, happy days. River's trips, unlucky for you, playoff. So yeah, I mean, hopefully we can keep these tables going now for at least another 40 minutes to get an hour's worth of video. And it's just how you should do things. This video is all about building a bankroll. It's not this series. It's not about let's battle fucking regulars or let's learn to beat regulars or anything like that. It's let's build a fucking bankroll and you know, push ourselves up the limits by doing things the right way, not by look at me, pal, I'm fucking battling regulars, pal. Look at me, I'm fucking awesome, pal. Look at me, my fucking rate bill's enormous and my win rate's tiny, pal. It's not about all that shit whatsoever. That's fucking nonsense. Leave that for the dick wavers and the guys who want poker to be about competition and don't want it necessarily, first and foremost, to be about profit. Games are shit, don't be in them. Games turn good again, be in them. And set your grind around that. And if the games are shit when it's your time to grind, then just unlucky. You don't play that day. You don't open your shop that day. You whatever. Who cares? Gonna bet twice with the 8-9 here down on table 3. Once Rizzly Kid checks back the 7-7-3, I think you're gonna bet most of his pairs. Another fucking set. Happy days. Right, we got no action, but never mind. Yeah, just whatever. If you go to log in, the games look shit. Don't think I'm going to play anyway. Because what's the point? You know, if you start playing, you're fair enough. I'm almost unquestionably better than pretty much every reg playing 8 and 10 and L. There might be some that are half decent, but most of the time they're just weak type shit pots basically that aren't particularly that good at poker. But they're not giving their money away, and there's just going to be better times for me to play. So rather than like play like for the last hour when I could just play against a bunch of regulars and then start to feel a bit tired, a bit burned out, a bit like, you know what, I've had enough of poker for the day, and then miss out on these games, just choose just to say, you know what, I'm not going to play right now because all I can see is whatever the fuck that guy's called, Smart Goat. So all I can see is Smart Goat and SR23 and a few others, or whoever the regulars are in your game, and just say, you know what, I think I'm better than these guys, but I don't need to prove that. Because my job is all about making money and building a bankroll, not about proving that I'm a better player than Smart Goat or I'm a better player than Healy Dog or whoever, who actually gives a fuck about any of that. I'll tell you what, the guys that do aren't thinking about poker correctly. It's not about proving you're the best, it's about proving you can make money. That's what the whole fucking game and the whole job is about. It's not a sport, it's a business, it's a money-making exercise, and you know, open your shop when there's plenty of customers walking by. Close your shop, turn your electric off when there's no fucking around that's going to give you a source of profit. It's just poker 101, it really is. Jack Queen off suit, a little bit loose under the gun, but when we've got 4 green at a table or 3 green at a table, it's I think it's worth opening. I don't have to bet too big with the Jack Queen here and the 8 and the Queen 3-3. Pretty hard for anyone to have a 3. Not impossible, of course, but I mean, people are that into calling 3-4 suited pre-flop. I mean, Ace-3 suited is obviously in my mind. I'm going to continue with my blocks. Got away with them the whole thing. It's a very easy fold if we get raised. And we unfortunately get rivered by the 10 Queen, but whatever. I play that hand absolutely fine. We get C-bet. We have a pretty good draw. Check call with it. It's a pound into a £1.34 on the turn. That's a pretty big bet. Still going to call, of course. Without a nut flush draw and our over. Well, I'm not going to make any plays. Had he made a much smaller bet there, had he made 70 into 134, I absolutely would have gone for a check raise. But when he makes the big bet, I think he's way more likely to just have a hand. So, as we talked about in previous videos, when we think someone has a hand, we don't try and semi-bluff them. We just try and make a better hand and then value bet them. Not really like calling 10 big blinds on the turn into 13, or we're getting 2.3 to 1 with a nut flush draw and an over, but I think we're going to get paid plenty on the river. When we make our down, we're just going to donk, and we're going to make a pretty big donk bet, and I expect to get paid up a decent chunk of the time. Because I think he's got a hand, and I just don't think people are that into folding. I think he's going to silent call when we make our hand. We let out in a limped pot on table 1. We got 2 callers. If Sam had less money, we would absolutely bet again, but I was concerned he might just jam on us if we bet. Now we're just going to call getting good odds. We got Jack for the nut shot. No Jack, so again our draw doesn't complete, so we're done with it. See, better flush draw, limped pot table 3, get a call on Ace XX, just check turn. Don't expect him making too many folds, just giving up now. not too fussed about it. We took our shot, we didn't improve. Whether he calls or folds Jack Queen at some point is debatable, but he certainly wasn't going to fold an ace. And I think when he just calls that flop in a limp pot, it's going to be hard to triple barrel him off it, because you're never going to be able to make big enough bets to make people fold top pairs and what have you. And make a big squeeze with the king jack offsuit on table 5 with 3 limpers. I find it hard to believe DTW has a big hand when he just overlimps, and I think we're ahead of JFM Poker's button limping range too. SR23 puts pretty damn big 3-bet in. In fact, it's a fucking huge 3-bet. You can afford to it. We can just make some very exploitable folds to that sizing and not care. SR23's got his own little challenge going on Sky. He started with like next to no money. He's trying to spin it up. I mean, obviously wish him luck with it. But if he ever got himself, with him getting himself into a position where he only had like a really small bankroll to begin with, it's my guess that he might be a relatively talented poker player, but he's not ever going to, he's super unlikely to have like a really good long-term winning regular, because his money management probably isn't great. Wow. Pocket aces. I was not ahead. I think it was ahead of his raise, like I said, but it was ahead of his hand. I really don't like SR23's 28 big blind 3-bet there with pocket nines. I think it's, I think it's fucking horrendous, to be honest with you. But that kind of backs up what I've just said about him in terms of he might be a reasonable player, but I don't think he's ever likely to be like a really good, dangerous regular. He might, who knows, he might eventually get better. People do improve, don't they? But he's got quite a way to go, I think. Would have been nice if we'd have got to a flop with JFM, because we absolutely would have taken a lot of money from him. His aces there, he wasn't going to be in the mood to fold them. He kind of was never going to bet them, was never going to fold them. That's kind of how I felt like it would have gone down. 6-7 suited with a blue tag in the pot, so we'll take a flop. Don't really care that we're out of position, I'd rather be in position, but the blue tag's enough to make me want to see a flop without any kind of playable hand. Sadly, we couldn't miss further. Not defending the Queen Jack offsuit. I'm presuming King Push has an ace here. He's just slow playing. Don't know, maybe he doesn't, but he doesn't. He just snap folds the river. So as usual in the videos, because we're playing late tonight, we're at every table except one. Which also looks like a good table, but the last time I tried to play 7 tables, it was a fucking disaster. So, good table or not, we'll just leave it be for the time being. Hopefully pounce on it if one of our tables breaks. By the way, guys, I really do enjoy the fact that you're all hitting the like button, or not all of you, but some of you hitting the like button. And I love the comments too. So if you have any questions, comments, like buttons you want to hit, please do get involved. I try to respond to pretty much every comment on every video, unless it's just someone being a dick, then I just tend to delete it, really. I don't like leaving dickish comments on because, well, why would I? So yeah, please do try and make the channel as interactive as possible. For those of you who haven't yet joined the Facebook group, there's now a little Facebook icon on the channel's homepage. If you click that, it'll take you to the Facebook group, which you are then encouraged to join if you've got Facebook. There's a Twitter page if you want to follow that. There's not too much. I don't tweet too often. Well, I say that I've made 15,000 tweets, but I don't tweet about poker too often. It's usually more just, well, just trolling my mates, basically. Complete the 5-4 suited. SR might go for a raise, and we can probably call if JFM comes along. He doesn't, whatever. I'm probably going to be a trap SR in a decent pot at some point with him being out of position to us, because I do feel he makes quite a lot of like aggressive mistakes. Two 8s and a 3 after getting called in the big blind to our 3-bet. Not really the flop we want to see. Better a raise in front of us. Goes in the bin. No idea what Danny G's doing here, but it's fun to watch. And he's still not folding it. What do you have, Danny G? And he just jams the river. What is happening? Yes, King. 5-3. Wow. What a time to be alive. Steve Cullen, I don't know whether to be, is it Steve Cullen, is he called? Steve Cutter. I don't know whether to be impressed or horrified by that. I think I'm a mixture of both. Right. We're about to quit table 4, but Dandy's just joined, who's an unknown, so we won't. Again, against Bartino, given the chance that Uzi Lad's probably going to come along, we're going to defend the 6-8 suited. Don't particularly like it, but again, I want to play a pot with Bartino. I want to play a pot with Uzi Lad. The fact Smart Goat doesn't 3-bet means he probably isn't that strong. Now as the kids quit, so now we get to play a heads up, hopefully, with some random who's sat with 80 blinds. My heads up game wouldn't be the greatest part of my game, but hopefully it's going to be good enough to do okay against Dandy. I don't know anything about Dandy. The question I'm asking myself here, do I want to go for like 6 quid with second pair? And I probably don't, so we'll let him check. That's the kind of hand I'd rather play that hand like 5 minutes into the session. Just see how he's played previously, because I mean that does a lot of post-up raising, and then that would be a spot where I wouldn't be looking to fold, but we have to give him credit. First hand up without any reads on it. Flopped an overpair on table 1. When you really Sam, that I'd be concerned about if we got action. Not concerned about sugar roll. If either sugar roll or Max has a beat, it's kind of like, who cares? Have no money, there's nothing we can do about it. And now obviously we just jam into sugar roll. And we do not win. Sugar roll had the 9-5 suited. And why am I sitting out here? Probably just because I timed out, I guess. Trying to steal SR's blind. Pretty sure he won't let me, but it's worth a try. Many apologies, my microphone just fell over. No equity on that ball, we're not going to see, but the 10-6-4. And let him think he can run us over, then we'll no doubt get him pretty quickly. Oh, sugar roll's quit, that's a shame. Two overs, backdoor straight draw, probably worth stabbing at on table one. Raise, we're folding, we get called, we're only proceeding on cards like that are quite good for us. Get raised pretty damn big, very easy fold. Good shot, two overs. It's only costing us 12 pence. We're going to see a turn card. And we get there. And we're not going to slow play. We're just going to lead out. And we're going to hope to catch somebody with just a naked jack. Or a flush draw. Or a 6. If no one's got any of those cards, then we were never going to win a big pot anyway. Respect smart goes like 5x isolation, raise some under the gun versus the poster, and just muck my king queen offsuit. The greatest of flop for two aces on table one, two kings, sorry. Probably going to bet small twice. Flop and turn here. We get check and min raised by Sam. Hate it, of course, but we call and he bombs the turn. Whatever. Good for him. Since we come back, we found some good tables, but we haven't found some run good yet, have we? Hopefully it'll come. I'm going to take a stab with my jack 10 now. We picked up the double gutter and the flop checking through. Not going to try and make Sam K fold anything. I think we're going to turn Sam K into a blue tack because he looks like he might be an action guy, and we like that. Two overs, backdoor everything. We're going to put the 10 pence in on table 6. We turn the open ender. I'm going to hope it doesn't get too expensive to see the river card. Doesn't appear like it will right now. And sadly we do not hit the glorious 6 ball, which probably would have got us paid quite handsomely. Sadly, our friend from table 1 has left, which is quite a shame really, because he looked like he was the type of guy who pays out. Queens and the king flops. Kind of the story of the session since we came back, isn't it? Squeezing the jacks for obvious reasons on table 6. Really want Chaff to 4-bet. He calls, and again, somehow an overcard pops off. Which is getting kind of frustrating now, because it feels like it's like the 3rd time in a row it's happened. This is pretty much how Friday's session went down. Just for whatever reason could not win a pot. And 3, I suppose, now 3 premium pairs we've had, and King's the ace come, Queen's the king come, and Jack's the queen come. It's pretty damn irritating, to be honest with you, but it's beyond our control, so there's probably no point getting too cross about it. Well, at least we can't get an overcard on table 5. Table 4 coming. Oh, we have Sam back. Sam is now back at table 4. He's quit one table, joined another. If Sam is to raise us on this board, he won't be in a position to elicit a fold from us. Do I think Smart Go's going to play 3 streets with the worst hand here? No, I don't, so we're checking back. He probably would have paid with that exact hand, but who knows? Maybe not. We're going to quit table 3. Really don't like that queen coming, but Sam has been just so aggressive. I'm afraid folding to him isn't going to be in my plans. Although I am going to check back that spade river. He just had nothing, which kind of doesn't surprise me. And no, this is it now. Oh no, there's a 10L table we can get on the list for. But then when we have the 6th table, we're going to be every table that's available to us. So the video will probably last until we get down to 3 tabling, and then I'll probably end the video because it's kind of hard to keep the chatter flowing at 3 tables. Interesting to see what SR23 turns up with here. See, C-bets flop gives up turn there. Is that something he does regularly, or is that just something he does against fish, who knows? I'm certainly going to squeeze the ace jack suited on table 3 with Sam in the pot. Wow, everyone's calling. And we flop in nut flush draw. At this time, it's clearly going to be good luck us. And we can't fold in this situation. It's just get it in and hope. Dandy does not fold. I'm not expecting him to fold here, but I'd rather jam than check call. To just have the king queen, we hit the flush and we'll take it. Not particularly proud of how that hand went down, but really not sure how else I could have played it. Genuinely don't think I could have played that any differently. Sometimes you're on good, sometimes you're on bad. Tonight we've had a mixed bag. Whilst as recon's betting really small, we're just going to call and take our direct odds to make our hand. There's a red one, that'll do. Chase our gut shot on table 6 for 10 pence. Keep chasing our gut shot for 10 pence. We don't make it, so we'll fold. Pot isolating Sam. Hoping to flop an ace, which will probably be the nuts. That's an ace. So we're in C with the river time with Sam. Make a really small raise just so we can shove the turn. Sam gets out and we win. And goes SR doing his like bad aggro reg thing again. When he bets 135, I think he's likely to have the ace. I think he would bet smaller if he was like probing. Wow, he just checks back again. He c-bets a lot of flops, checks a lot of turns. Looks like he c-bets way too often. Or he's just shit at playing turns. Might be both. Gets led into. Not going to pair his liquid off here with just one pair. Wow, a second time that the JFM guys just trapped him. Just check the Jack 9 suited there. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that SR might watch some of my videos, so I don't want to say too much about how I'm planning on adjusting to him, which probably means I've offended him slightly. This video with my comments on him, but you know, you can't please everyone, so you may as well please yourself. But I'm not really going to give too much away about how I think where do I think his leaks are and what have you, and how I think I'm going to try and play to them, or how I'm going to try and exploit them. Going to be looking for some green on table 5. There's no green, but there's one of those big fat letters in the middle of it, the pointy letter. We like the pointy letter. And if Chav has the cue for ace queen right now, then Chav's going to take all of our money. Excuse me. Chav doesn't have the cue for us. Really like raising JFM. He doesn't often bet. But so I'm going to go for a call here. Then back raise when, if or when SR goes for his usual isolation, which he hasn't done this time. So we're always learning. But listening to a podcast not so long back, and there's a respected, what site was it called? I think it might be Red Chip Poker, is it? Something like that. Actually. Anyway, one of the respected pros was saying that your last adjustment should be a passive adjustment. I think when you have someone like SR23 to your left, I think that's an interesting theory, I think. I call Conda with the King 10 offsuit. I haven't really been paying too much attention to table 6 so far. But we know we can give away in the green tag. Flop a good shot. Just going to make a small stab. With quite a lot of success with these small stabs. It's like an overall strategy. Don't think they get exploited very often. You get tons of folds with them. Don't think people play back at them very often, and if we do find somebody who does play back at them very often, it's not the hardest thing in the world to adjust to. And something I sometimes struggle with when I'm six tabling and doing a video and trying to talk is making sure that I'm keeping with the exploitable bet sizes and stuff, or confident that I'm not being exploited. It's something I don't think I always do enough of. When I'm just sat there 4 tabling or whatever, 5 tabling, not recording, I do keep up with it. Interested to see what Smart Goat's going for the squeeze with here. very standard hand, so nothing to see here, Governor. Move along. Like a lot of my flop bets, they're just like probe bets, aren't they? You know, they're value / probes, and just see where we go from there. We seem to have a few interesting hands on the go all at once. I think probe's just a fancy way of seeing, like, try and find out where your opponent's at, but I think it's fine anyway. I'm going to go for the pretty big squeeze with the 2 queens. I'm not see betting the ace king on that board texture. Did I time out there with queen? I fucking did, didn't I? Quite irritating. Yeah, I'm far from convinced 6 table is going to be the way to go during this challenge. I mean, it's worked out okay the first 2 weeks in terms of how much money I've made. But I think I still make lots of mistakes. Not sure if I need the 6. Not sure if we just be. I mean, it's hard when the 6 really good tables. You like really want to be on them all. Maybe it doesn't bring the best out in me. So at least I need to think about. Should I be 6 tabling, particularly when I'm recording. Maybe 6 table when I'm not recording. Maybe just 4 or 5 when I am recording. Maybe that's going to be better. But I'm recording, hopefully, or trying to record at least half of the time. So that might be difficult, but who knows? Let's snap it off if Sam does something silly here. And get it in really good. And we win. Kind of unlucky for Sam there, because sure he was pretty much right bang at the top of his range. As we all know, when you're at the top of your range and you lose, you do tend to feel hard done by. How many tables this was looking at with us? Is not many. 1, 2. There's only 2 tables. So I guess he needs the orange tag for the time being. Most of the kids probably know that's some tedious fucking weed-based reference. Yeah, I smoke weed, aren't I? Fucking great. Not really. It's probably not doing you much good. And it also says something about other life choices that you might make. But each to their own. I'm going to piss off too many weed smokers in the gang. I'm a proper judgmental cunt me these days. Never used to be. I am now. Tables are starting to die off pretty much all over the place right now. What I don't want to do is pay off too much with the King Jack. Is like quit a couple of tables, encourage like the people that are propping the games to quit, but we need to quit this one now. I'm not playing 3-handed against somebody who doesn't have any chips. So this one's going table 3. Got to hope to just check down a winner here against Condar on table 6. In fact, I think, yeah, we've got an hour in. We're going to call it a night on the session, I think, and I'm going to watch some tables, ladders and chairs. So we'll just do that next big blind, all our tables, and we'll call it a night. We've got the video in, we've had a catch up, it's all good. Oh, 2 queens, very nice way to finish, won't it? we hope it's a nice way. Oh, no, it's an incredibly tedious way to finish, but never mind. We'll play the Queen Jack, and hopefully we'll finish on a interesting spot. 2 overs, backdoor everything. Probably going to go for a check raise, especially when he bets like 30 pence or something. In fact, we're going to go for, well, I was going to go for a check raise regardless, but when he bets 60, I think I'm still going to go for it, you know. We don't lose very much when he raises us, because we don't lose much in like equity terms. But not often you see like the overbet on the dry board, so we'll go for it. Not ideal when Meme calls, because he has to have something. But Chav does overbet then fold, which is interesting to say the least. I'm very concerned that Meme just has like a really strong hand here, but we picked up the gut shot and a card that gives us reasonable fold equity, so we're going to bet one more time. If we get raised, which I expect to happen a decent amount if he does have a set, we're just going to fold. We're just going to give up the river because I expect Meme to have a reasonable hand. There's just no draws there, so he just pretty much has to have a made hand. So we're just giving up now at this point. I would have given up on the turn had the king not come, but the king was like such a good card to continue betting on, but didn't work out. Never mind. Interesting that Chav is small, overbet, dry board, to raise. Just because that's not the most usual play that we see. And yeah, we're not going to continue the video waiting to play these 2 hands out, so we'll leave it there. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you've got this far, please don't forget to hit the like button. Any questions, please leave them in the comments, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.